If you've tried all the diets and the exercise machines and the scale still is not budging, well, maybe you need to get just a little bit mean. Susan Cheever, who battled her weight her entire life, discovered that meaner was leaner, and she wrote about it in Self magazine. She's here along with psychiatrist Birndorf, who is also a contributor to Self. Good morning to you both, ladies.
Good morning.
So, Susan, I'm sure a lot of people are saying, what do you mean? You got mean, then you started losing weight. How did this happen?
Well, we all know what we're supposed to eat, unless you've been under a rock for 50 years. The question is, why can't we do that?
Right.
And I started asking myself that question, and I started wondering, how does being overweight serve me? Why am I doing it? And I realized that being overweight and eating protected me. I had a kind of suit of armor. A friend of mine says obesity is the American burqa. I was a little bit invisible. I was a little bit protected. And if I accommodated the world all day, I could go home and soothe myself with food. So once I saw that, I started changing my behavior. And in a lot of discussions with my brother, we worked out what we call the mean diet. So I started saying no to people. I stopped answering the phone. I started being mean.
And really putting the me back in mean,
putting
right?
the me back in mean.
More about
well
you.
Said.
Right.
Well said. And I found that if I didn't accommodate people all day, I wasn't so hungry. For instance, at a dinner party, if my hostess had put me next to a man I didn't like, I found that I would overeat. Whereas if I moved and sat next to someone I liked, I didn't care what I ate.
So how did you handle that at the dinner party? Excuse me, you're not good company. I'm moving.
Well, I think some hostesses were disturbed.
Yeah.
But I wasn't hungry. I didn't have to eat the dessert.
And you lost a total of 25 pounds.
Yes.
You're still losing.
Yes.
And so what else did you change in your way?
That was the main thing. I started
saying no to
just
people.
I started to stop leading a reactive life.
And you struggled with weight throughout your childhood, right?
I mean, I come from a family of manic dieters, you know. The attic in my mother's house is full of old abdominizers and one-man gyms that my father would buy from infomercials, anything. Right. Anything.
But then you comfort with food.
Well, you comfort with food and you protect yourself by being overweight. Those two things go together. Right. And I said, how can I comfort and protect myself with words and actions instead of with food? And the answer is by being mean. Right. It's not what people want, but it really changed my relationship to food.
And Catherine, you know, it's not surprising, I think, sometimes when you put yourself first and when you start taking care of yourself that you're going to see some results here.
Absolutely.
What do you think is the most important thing to take away from what Susan's telling us?
Well, I think what Susan's saying is it's not about being selfish. Right. It's about self-preservation. And I think we confuse the words. And so we think if we take care of ourselves, then we're not being good to other people. But in fact, we can't help other people if we can't take care of our own selves.
And why is it that we care so much about how other people view us?
Well, I think seeking approval from others, I think is very important. What others think of us creates our value. I think we have to value ourselves and learn to respect ourselves. And that helps us say no and take care.
But you make it sound easier than it is.
It's not easy.
It's very hard. People do not like this.
Right.
So.
And how did you then handle people who are like,
well,
she's got mean, that's Susan, don't invite her to a dinner party.
Well, exactly. But
because that happened,
if you
right?
think about it being your health, then too bad for people. Let them eat donuts.
And you have a motto that you came up with.
My motto became, I don't take any crap and I don't eat any crap. And they go together.
Yeah, I guess it works, right?
I would also
say
Catherine. It's not exactly mean to say no. I think that you can say no and people can still like you. But some do and some don't. But you have to tolerate the discomfort when you disappoint somebody or you anger somebody. But it's okay.
You can be mean nicely in a nice way.
Well, but as I say, they don't like it.
No.
In other words, I was nice all those years for a good reason.
Right.
Yeah. But I think finding the balance between being able to say no and being a decent, mean person is good. It's
all right, we're going to leave it there. She's still going to be mean.
I know.
All right, Susan Cheever, Dr. Birndorf, thank you both, ladies.